Chapter 33, The Tug, Calshot. The tugboat skipper, sucking on his pipe, climbed down from his little cabin and watched the palaver on his deck. "And well, you say, would take us about 10 minutes to get there down the water," he said to the copper, but the copper was too busy trying to count heads. The little tugboat rocked with all the to-ing and fro-ing. Fat old Sergeant Jackson was having a bit of a wobble himself, getting in the way of the gangplank and being jostled by the other copper, and Bert trying to unload the sleeping orphans. The sergeant kept going on about measures and trying to make out that he was in charge now, but Baby knew without a doubt that actually she was. Ida wasn't giving in to the copper either. "What measures? What do you mean, police matter?" Firm on her sea legs, Ida cocked her nose in the air and pressed her fists to her hips. Jin and Brian joined Ida on either side. "That's the spirit, girl." Baby reckoned Ida Barnes could give fingers a run for her money for cheek. "Well, I don't think I need to explain to you, young lady." With snow settling on the top of his helmet like a coconut pyramid, the fat old copper was as stupid as he looked. Baby reckoned he couldn't explain because he didn't know. Then Ida lowered her eyes and clasped her hands together in front of her like a good girl. "Actually, Sergeant Jackson, sir, and I know I shouldn't be talking to my elders and betters this way, but," Ida looked up at him, "I don't think you know where he is, and I do. He's got my sister and he's flying from Hamwell Airfield, and we're wasting precious time because by the looks of it, he'll be able to take off pretty soon." The snow had stopped and the clouds were parting to reveal an ice-blue, clear sky. Sergeant Jackson took a notebook and pencil out of his top pocket, flipped open the notebook and licked the pencil. "Perhaps I should take a statement from you now, then, while my officer deals with these nippers on the quay. Spencer?" The young copper, guarding the sleeping orphans, saluted. "Yes, sir." "I'm taking statements. You're in charge of the nippers on the quay." He looked puzzled, but like Sergeant Jackson, he took out his notebook. He knelt down by one of the sleeping kids and licked his pencil. "Not them, you idiot! This lot getting off." Baby tugged on Sergeant Jackson's sleeve. "There's 6 of us and a dog. I'll help you sort 'em out." The sergeant looked down at Baby a bit peculiarly, but she was used to that. "But," said Ida with a frown, "there's not much time." "No," interrupted Baby. "That's why we've got to get a move on and help this old cop, Mr. Policeman here, to do his job." Baby put her finger and thumb in her mouth and whistled her best and clearest. "Right, you lot, we're getting off this here boat before it carries us off down the water." Baby caught Elf's eye. He pinched Ida's sleeve and pulled her into the cabin. Thank God Elf had his wits about him. The old copper took his finger out of his ear. Now then, enough of that. Let's be having the 6 of you." Frank woofed. "And dog, off this boat. I'm sure the skipper wants to get on with the day's work." Baby herded Jin, Fingers, Brian, Sophie, Robert and Frank, now honorary girls too, and William, towards the gangplank, where they made their way off the boat with no respect for Sergeant Jackson in his too small helmet. The boat wobbled. Frank ran round the edge of the deck and barked at every splash of water, while Sergeant Jackson tried to count their heads again. On the quay, Spencer, under the girls' watchful eyes, lifted each sleeping kid out of its coffin and into the back of the van, where the 3 of them curled up together in a little heap of warm and living bodies, thank God. The sergeant trudged about, ordering the dockers to clear the snow. In mufflers and flat caps, they shovelled a track for the police van, the Black Maria, as Baby knew them in London, off the quay and back onto the dock road. The laundry van remained abandoned, a snowy version of itself. "We'll be reclaiming that for the laundry as soon as the weather clears up," declared Sergeant Jackson to no one in particular. It seemed lots of snow, lots of girls, and vans, and coffins, and a yapping dog were too much for him. He didn't notice the little flurry of snow that shook itself off the laundry van windscreen and the quietest clunk of the driver's door closing. Baby, the girls, and William piled into the back of the Black Maria. Through the back window, Baby saw the old copper and the skipper talking to each other across the little stretch of water. Sergeant Jackson beckoned to Spencer, sitting cosily in the driver's seat. With a smile, hoping for a promotion, Spencer got out. The sergeant trudged through the snow, had a few words with Constable Spencer, and with a big puff heaved himself into the seat made warm by the younger copper. "Ida Barnes, are you here?" Baby nudged Brian. The policeman was too fat to turn round, so he couldn't see the whole back of the van. Tucked in a corner, not covered by the mirror, Brian waved that old shawl Ida had had round her neck. "Here's Sergeant Jackson, sir," she said, and the motor rumbled into action. Baby and Fingers, both short enough to stand up inside, took a little round back door window each. They both waved to Gin, who was putting on some lipstick in the front of the laundry van, still parked, broken down and abandoned on the quay. Baby spotted Ida peeping over Alf's shoulder on the deck of the tugboat, chugging away from the quayside, and she felt pleased with herself that so far it was going to plan. Though the girl could be a blooming nuisance and not as quick on the uptake as she'd like sometimes, Baby took a deep breath of hope that because it was her little sister at stake, Ida Barnes would be the one to stop that cold-hearted, black-shirted Underwood in his tracks.